With the news of Disney's potential further development of Ridley Scott's Alien franchise, I've been exploring the creatures and characters that make up this dark and mysterious universe. The lore of Ridley Scott's Alien has slowly expanded and grown through subsequent films and other media. One of the beings that made its first appearance in the original 1979 film but was not referred to and did not make another on-screen appearance until the prequel movie Prometheus was the Space Jockey, also called the Pilot, whose race ultimately came to be known as the Engineers. In this video, I'd like to talk about what is known about the Engineers, as well as what mysteries surrounding these beings still need to be explored. Before the release of Prometheus, these beings were originally referred to as the Space Jockeys, which was a nickname given to them during production on Alien. H.R. Giger's original nickname was the Pilot, and later in the novel Alien's Original Sin, they are called Malakax. In the film Prometheus, the name Engineer was given to these beings by Elizabeth Shaw and Charlie Holloway due to them being responsible for engineering the human race. In regards to their physical traits, Engineers are humanoid, with dead-seeming black eyes bearing pupils shaped like oblong crosses. They also have pale white and hairless skin due to their subterranean nature. An Engineer's lifespan is known to be about 150 years. They vary in height all the way up to 12 feet and breathe oxygen, though they seem to also be able to withstand higher carbon dioxide concentrations than humans. Their voices are human-like, although lower in pitch, and their skeletal and muscular structure is very similar to that of humans as well. They possess incredible strength and are quite hardy, proving impervious to gunshot damage at close range. This strength very likely could have been augmented by their biomechanical pressure suits. The Engineers are a technologically advanced race, having made significant progress in the field of genetic engineering. Within their society are found advanced forms of culture in the areas of language, music, visual arts, and clothing. Their writing system is similar to Mesopotamian cuneiforms found in the Middle East, and their hieroglyphs are practically identical to what is found in Egypt, Mesoamerica, and other places on Earth. In regards to their connection to the infamous xenomorphs found throughout the films, and Ridley Scott's director's commentary for the first Alien DVD, it is mentioned that the Engineer ship in that film was a bomber. This ship used the xenomorph eggs as biogenic weapons, whose spawn would proceed to kill a planet's entire population. During the course of Prometheus, the crew of the ship believed that the abandoned planet they were exploring was an outpost for weapons engineering and development. This lends credibility to the theory that the Engineers created the black liquid and subsequently the xenomorphs for war and genocidal purposes. In Prometheus, it is revealed that a single Engineer was responsible for the creation of the human race. As his people left the primordial Earth, the Engineer ingested an unknown substance, causing his body to dissolve, which in turn seeded the planet with his DNA, hastening the evolutionary process. The Engineers then periodically visited Earth to secretly observe the human race's development. As a result, human DNA and Engineer DNA are virtually identical. Approximately 2,000 years prior to the Prometheus expedition to LV-223, the Engineers located there had formulated a plan to wipe out humanity by releasing a pathogen they had created. The reason for the Engineers doing this is unknown. However, it is noted by the crew of the Prometheus that the Space Jockeys discovered on LV-223 had been dead for around 2,000 years. This had led fans to speculate that it was at that time 2,000 years ago when something happened that caused them to become hostile towards humanity. However, they apparently lost control of the pathogen, which led to their demise. 4 surviving Engineers took refuge within their ship, storing themselves within its hypersleep chambers. Ultimately, however, only one of them survived. Scientist Angela Foster speculated that the Engineers became hostile because they had come to view humanity as a disappointment or mistake. This was confirmed during Ridley Scott's podcast appearance with Empire magazine, where he said, quote, "If the planet went wrong, they would want to wipe it clean, but that could take 500 years. When they revisit, because different visitors would come back and see we're not doing so well, they would look at these human beings that are jerks, that are killing the planet, killing themselves, "Can't settle down, they're like a bunch of children, we should wipe it clean." In 2089, archaeologists discovered 35,000-year-old cave paintings on the Isle of Skye on Earth, depicting a tall figure pointing to a series of stars. These paintings matched others found on artifacts from several other Earth cultures across various time periods. Interestingly, these were cultures that could not have had any contact with each other. These drawings were understood to be referring to a specific set of stars within the galaxy, leading to the conclusion by Elizabeth Shaw that they were created as an invitation for humans to make contact with them. As with many of the creatures in the alien universe, much of the lore of the engineers has yet to be explored. This presents the writers for new content with an excellent opportunity to dive further into these fascinating beings in order to solve some mysteries and answer a few of the biggest questions surrounding them. One question many fans have is in regards to the engineers' reason for weaponizing the xenomorphs. While much of the universe is still a mystery and remains largely unexplored, no mention is made of the engineers having any sort of enemy to contend with. The introduction of this enemy could help to explain why the engineers would need to use xenomorphs as a weapon. Another mystery that could be clarified involving the engineers is the matter of who actually created the xenomorphs. In Alien Covenant, it is suggested that the android David was responsible for the creation of these fearsome beasts. However, in Prometheus, which takes place before the events of Covenant, we see a wall motif showing the outline of a xenomorph. There are a few theories on this matter. The one that is most in line with Ridley Scott's comments is that David was in fact the first to create the classic xenomorph, and that this wall mural perhaps represents a blueprint of what the engineers were attempting to create with the black goo. In this theory, they never finished the work before the outbreak, so David may have just finished the design and implemented it. Another theory posits that David may have simply recreated a process with his experimentation that others had already mastered. Which of these ideas is correct ultimately depends on the age of the derelict ship in the 1979 Alien film. In that film, Dallas makes a comment about the corpse of the Space Jockey found on LV-426, and that it looks fossilized, leading to the assumption that the ship had been there for thousands of years. So if that is the case, then it could still be said that the engineers may have been responsible for the creation of the xenomorphs after all. In 2017, Ridley Scott commented that his intended sequel to Alien Covenant would explore the story of the engineers who were off-planet when the events of Covenant took place. However, the details regarding the content of any upcoming film project set in the Alien universe are still very much up in the air. No doubt many fans are looking forward to further content that could shed more light on the engineers and the many mysteries of their race. But I'm curious to know what you think of the engineers. Would you be interested in seeing a further exploration into the lore behind these beings through upcoming TV series or films? Are there any questions that you have about the engineers that you'd like to see answered? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe for more sci-fi and fantasy news and lore. Thank you all so much for your support, and as always, have a very nerdy day.